Sad to report, the Snow Bunny got another one, man.
They got him.
He was found guilty on assault charges, man. No! All right, let me do it.
All right, shut up, nigga.
I think we trolling too much. Yo, welcome back, Playback. Let's go back. So the Jonathan Major trial is officially over, and just to cut through
there was a lot of bullshit.
He was found guilty on 2 charges, but also not guilty on another 2 charges. The 2 charges that he was found not guilty on are probably the more important ones, the ones that we're going to put him in jail for an extended period of time, was the assault in a 3rd degree with intent to cause physical harm or physically injure her. That was not guilty. And also the aggravated harassment in 2nd degree, also not guilty. However, the charge that he was found guilty for was the assault in 3rd degree, recklessly causing physical injury, and also
which is so stupid to be.
This is
that's so stupid
because Jonathan Majors is not going to do any extended period of time in jail. If he does, it's only up to 1 year for $1,000 fine and 3 years of probation based off the research that I've done.
1 year is crazy.
But it's
1 year is wild.
A lot of people believe that he's probably not going to do any time.
I'm not gonna lie, 1 year is wild.
Especially because the harassment in 2nd degree, that's technically not even a criminal charge. It's
not.
You get hit with a ticket, it's fine. You don't have a criminal record. The only thing that's going to hold a criminal record against him would be the 3rd degree recklessly causing physical injury assaults that he was found guilty on. Basically, now when it comes to the 2 not guilty charges, what essentially it means that the jury did not believe that he is this aggressive man that was going around bopping her from left to right. None of those, none of the piece of evidence pointed to that, and that makes sense because everything was fairly inconsistent from start to finish. Unfortunately,
I don't even feel like he should have been guilty for that other stuff because, like,
the people
was protecting himself, was he not?
And the voice recording, be very mindful that was from another incident, was not in this incident. And before we even got in the beginning of the trial, Grace Jabari was on the record saying that Jonathan Majors had never put her hands on her before until the night that was in question. So if we were to believe her, and she said this under oath, then those text messages and that voice recording had to be referencing something that did not lead to a physical altercation. So there's that. Those text messages may seem damning, and the voice recording is definitely damning. It sounds damning. But if you are a man in particular, or a black man especially, you probably understand the perception of what it may feel like to be someone that looks like you are bopping.
Yo, I can't breathe for shit. Fuck.
Cautious on how people deal with it. So much so that you probably wouldn't call the police, and that's why I think Jonathan Majors kind of outlined that way in the text message.
Is this Devin Booker and Clay or Devin Booker and Curry? Who's this? I know this D, but who's it? What type of shirt is this, my nigga? Oh, I'll move camera so y'all can. What kind of shirt is this? I don't know if that's cold as fuck or what, but
also it wouldn't be consistent with his character, because if you believe that he was previously bopping her, then why would he call the police on the night that is in question? Because he is the one who called the police to make sure that she got her some type of some help.
She was knocked out.
Now, the other case, the other charge, and this is where things get a little sticky now. In particular, the assault in the 3rd degree, recklessly causing physical injury. He was found guilty on that essentially because they believe the way that he handled the situation where he was pushing her back into the car was him acting recklessly, which could have potentially resulted in physical injury. We talked about this actually. We cut it out.
He should have been fired.
Last time we recorded, we said, well, technically speaking, he did shove her. That is an assault. He could get hit with that.
Bro, the only person that acted recklessly was her chasing this nigga down 8 different blocks.
Nah, she was sprinting and the fucked up thing is she was in heels. That bitch was sprinting in heels. I mean, to be honest, nigga was jogging and still dusting her. Let's be honest. Jonathan Majors was doing a sweet jog. Like, you're not gonna catch an athlete. You're not. You're not gonna catch this nigga. But come on now. The bitch chased this nigga down for miles. You know, in the Boondocks, the pimp name Slipback when Granddad brings the hoe, and then the pimp name Slipback comes to get the hoe back, and at the end of the scene, he's driving, and the bitch is chasing him in the car, for the car. That's what she was doing. That's exactly what she was doing.
And he's not just Like, he's not just he's not like, if Low walked down the street, bro, you're in no danger. But if Jonathan Majors walks down the street with no security, no nothing, he could potentially be in danger. You don't know what city he's in. You don't know who wants what. You have a lot to lose. Bro, she acted so recklessly. The fact that he's being deemed the reckless one in this situation is crazy. The reality is her recklessness, if I act recklessly towards you, and then in your defense of me, you get accused of assaulting me, that's brain dead. That's genuinely brain dead. You're basically admitting in the court system that women have no ability to harm a man, but men have to be ultra sensitive, because even in the defense of themselves, him putting her back into the car, that qualifies as reckless causing physical injury.
Yep.
That's nuts, man.
I said that too. I said Jonathan Majors was essentially found guilty because he was too aggressive when attempting to get
my fault, y'all.
from Grace Jabari. That's essentially why he got hit with it.
What the fuck did I just?
Wow.
Did I just break my shit?
In the attempt of trying to
fuck?
remove himself from the situation, to separate himself from Grace Jabari, they believe that he was acting too recklessly and he did it in an aggressive manner. And that right there, it could lead to her being injured, and that's what they found him guilty. They didn't find him guilty on this concept that he was this abusive man that was bopping her. He did not find guilty on that. He wasn't found guilty that he was harassing her with the intent to injure her. He was not found guilty of that. He was simply found guilty because he did something that they deemed reckless that could have resulted in her being injured. Two things. A, I think his lawyers did a really bad job, because what they did throughout the entire case was focusing on if she was or was not hurt after the altercation. What they should have also made sure they focused on, which is also crazy because I don't think there's enough evidence to prove she was injured after that altercation. Be very mindful that after that happened, she used the same hand that was bruised with, tied the back of her hair. The woman that she met tried to stop her from chasing after Jonathan Majors. With her hand, she snatched her hand away from her. She was using her hand on the railing to go up and down stairs throughout the nightclubs. She using her hand to hold a cigarette, hold a drink, dig in her purse, and find that nigga's credit card and swipe it left and right on VIP tables and bottles. She used her hand to do that all night. And then also, this is information that we did not put in there that I learned about. The lacerated cut behind her ear, her lacerated ear, there was no blood in the car. There was no incident or anyone saying that when they met her that they saw her ear cuts. There was no blood dripping from her face. And then she went out. Mind you, somebody slapped you so hard across the face.
Man, if I got slapped so hard, I would be asleep. I'll be at home. Put my ass to bed, nigga. No, of course you want. If I got smacked the goofy out of me like that,
incident where they have claimed to have been blood is at the loft, at the suite that he stays in, that she passed out at, where the police officer said that he did see some blood residue on the pillow, which would be consistent of her putting her head down, and then that's where the blood would be.
Bro,
be very mindful that she also walked into a wall after she got drunk.
That means that
y'all think it's gonna be black?
It's more likely he hurt her. Then there's video evidence of her walking into a wall drunk. She was so drunk she passed out in the loft. But for some reason, he's such a threat that they can't fathom she injured herself drunk out of her fucking mind by herself.
Now again, let's be clear.
What the fuck?
There's
so
no
crazy.
proof. Technically speaking, there's no proof that we have that she got injured.
Like, so I have a question.
Something.
Like, are we just cooked? Are we just cooked? Like for real, are black people just cooked in society right now? Because when it comes to police officers, we always gotta watch our back. We have visual evidence, my nigga, visual evidence, and we still lose, and we still fucking lose.
Something else, but also it's not on Jonathan Majors' part. They have to prove that she got injured within a reasonable doubt during that incident, even though there's several pieces of evidence that it doesn't seem that way. And it's very reasonable to believe that a woman who was so drunk out of her mind that she walked into a wall and also passed out in the closet, it's very reasonable to believe that she could have did that to herself. And also, seeing from some of the other text messages and voice messages that were recorded, you could very well argue.
Like I said, we recorded. You was up in there recording, look. You was up in there hiding it in the closet, phone out like this. That nigga had the phone, the little mic out like, we got it. That's it. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. Yeah. Looking at.
She may have done this before in the way that I read it as a man being in some similar situations, or other men that I know who've been in similar situations. What it sounds like is Jonathan Majors is disappointed in the way that she handles herself with her alcohol, and she's not being a proper representation of herself and embarrassing herself in the relationship they have, and not honestly and genuinely recognizing the sacrifice that he makes, and she just goes out and does what she wants to do. She gets so drunk that it leads to that level of representation. Who knows what could have happened? There's a possibility that she's bumped her head before on something.
Breathe for
that
shit, y'all.
she's
I'm being
done
honest. I need
ridiculous
that
wild
Vicks,
stuff while she's drunk.
that
has
Vapor Max,
resulted in
nigga.
her essentially injuring herself. And Jonathan Majors said, yo, take some painkillers first. Let's try. Before you go to the hospital and they start asking you questions, because now it looks like I done bopped you left and right. Take some painkillers first, and then we'll figure out it after that, because you about to just warn me because you don't know how to handle your liquor.
Wow, bro.
That's because
She
after
went out by herself and got blackout drunk. Think about how dangerous that is.
she didn't go by herself, she met some strangers and got blackout drunk. Think about how dangerous that is.
That's by yourself. You don't know. They don't have no allegiance towards you.
That's what I'm saying.
You're solo, and anybody could have. Obviously, niggas gonna like try and, you feel me? Even that part.
Like that's crazy.
Why is you letting two niggas accompany you on a night out?
You got blacked out drunk around some random strangers. That's how loose you are with some of your decision making. So again, like Agent said, the one who was actually reckless that night was her. But it is so interesting, especially the way the conversation is centered around all of this.
Damn,
how no one is talking about that at all. It's all about Jonathan Majors, and which then leads to the bigger point of this video. To the fellas out there, I don't know what else you need to see. This trial is irrefutable evidence that you as a man is at a massive deficit when you're dealing with women. You're at a massive deficit.
But massive we're in the deepest, darkest hole in America. Like we're in the sea. If there was a black hole, throw all of us men in that bitch. And that's how deep we in. We never get it out of that bitch. We never get it out. We never making it to the fucking top. I promise you we're not. Like, what the fuck? Niggas can't do self-defense? Niggas can't defend themselves no more? So what would it take? Her taking a gun and shooting the nigga in his foot? Or what happens if she take the gun and shoot this nigga in his shoulder? What if she shot this nigga dead? Then we're gonna be like, oh, now she in the wrong? Like, I just don't understand, bro. I don't. I really don't.
Listen, bro. There's no other way around it, bro.
And even if there was evidence that we haven't seen, why would you hide that evidence when it's a public court case? My nigga?
She acted reckless by essentially trying to steal. This is what the lawyer should have said. Yo, you stole his, even if you want to say that he did injure you in this altercation, technically speaking, he has the right to receive his person back from you, which would be the cell phone, that you took from him forcefully. He has a right to use force to take that back, as well as separate you forcefully because you are essentially assaulting him as well. But they didn't argue that. They were trying to argue that she wasn't even injured in the first place.
I'm pretty sure he
tried to countersue her, but the judge said, no, we're not going to allow that to happen.
So if I grab Lowe's phone and this nigga's like, give me my phone back, and he assaulted me and I did nothing wrong. First of all, there's a lot wrong with this situation here. It's obvious the bias in the court system. We don't even have to fucking beat that horse till it fucking dies. The reality is Marvel dropped him. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, and then also the result of all this is, as soon as the verdict came in, Marvel dropped him from basically everything.
And it's like they waited because they probably would have just let it fly if he wasn't found guilty. Mm-hmm. And the reality is they probably like him and realize that Marvel is too PG of a brand to be in the space of this type of. But
that's like so dumb. Like you gotta. Boom, at some point, is there like not a? How should I say it? Like, at some point, is there like not a moral understanding? Like Marvel, you gotta see the court case and be like, bro, you really should not be guilty. Like, we saw the evidence, we saw what they said, but we don't stand by you. Like, I truly don't think you did it. I don't think you deserve to be found guilty on all of these. What is wrong with standing on your actor's side? No, I really want to know, like, what is the problem with having your actor's back? Is it so bad to have your actor's back? You have one of the greatest actors, the greatest villain Kang I've ever. Kang he's the only reason why I even dedicated myself to learn about the whole MCU, the multiverse. Like, everyone knows that he should not have been guilty. So you fire him. Like, At what point do we have, you know what? No, I don't appreciate that, Colton. You know what? We gonna stand by you. We gonna stand by you because you know what? I know they said you guilty, but us as the world know what it is. We don't gonna go let the judge say this and the other. We gonna stand by you, my boy. And what are other people gonna do? Call him a beater? Look at the evidence. Like, I just don't understand.
All the
It's
momentum he's
irritating.
built with the Creed, all of the Marvel movies, he loses out on all of that momentum in his career because of an incident where it seems as though he did nothing wrong. All he did was try and remove himself from a situation, and she was so aggressive in pursuits that they found him as the one moving recklessly.
Yes.
She chased this nigga down blocks.
I heard he's
don't give a
allowed to
fuck, bro.
appeal it.
They
Can
have
you
to have
appeal
some
it?
evidence we don't know about. I just refuse to believe they indicted this nigga on
Yeah,
this evidence.
we
It
have to.
sounds
They have
too
to have
low.
evidence we don't know.
It sounds insane, bruh.
Yeah.
And to the people making this black man, white woman conversation, what the fuck is wrong with you, my nigga? This
I think that has something to do with. I think most
No,
people are trying to turn it into. Well, that's what he deserved for dating that milk.
look at that top comment. All y'all niggas have craving milk. This is what comes with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Almost as if to say
I mean, but
he
like,
deserves this.
but like,
or
let's
dating
be
somebody
honest
that-
though. If that girl was black, she would have said shit. And I hate to say this. I hate to say this because Miles Bridges was wrong. It was Miles, right? Or what was it?
I'm assuming fell in
Who was that nigga that played for the goddamn Hornets? Right? Yeah, Miles. Miles' girl was probably getting abused for a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Because he's the one that. Yeah. So he probably was doing that shit for a minute, right? His girl wasn't trying to say shit until it got bad. And I'm glad that she said something, but I'm just saying, like, if the girl was black, I don't think this goes the way it does. I truthfully don't. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think it goes like that. I just don't.
It's not something he deserves.
And when y'all say it, y'all essentially are acknowledging that white women in particular can get away with these things because they're white women. And you are acknowledging the disadvantages of it. I think this just has way more to just do with, again, the relationships with men and women and how, as a man, you're dealing with a woman that puts you at a disadvantage, at a deficit.
I agree, but to say that like race don't really play a part of it, I think it's a mixture of both. It
And
might
on
be
top of
heavily
that,
men versus
What's
females, but
stopping men from seeing this situation and being like, why would I call the police to
in
help
the
her
first
out?
place, yeah.
He went to his own loft, found her passed out drunk with blood, and called the police, which is what you would do if you cared about the person that was on the fucking ground. He wasn't thinking about what the implications might be for him. And then this is the result.
Which, again, I want to be clear to the people out there who think that he's this aggressive bopper. It's not consistent with the type of character that they try to outline. How is it possible that this man, for maybe a few instances prior, was so aware of like making sure that no one knew that he was bobbing her to the point where he didn't even want her to go to the hospital because that could then lead to a line of questions that could then reveal that he actually is bopping her. All of a sudden, sees her passed out in this man's loft with a bruised finger cut behind the ear and some pills, and was like, I need to call the police now. After allegedly, he's the one who smacked her across the face in the car, as she claimed. Of course, that's not what happened. That doesn't even make any sense. But yeah, you're right. What's the point of me even calling the police now? I'm putting myself at jeopardy because this is how your night resulted in. Yet again, you're drunk as hell and passed out somewhere randomly. That's tough.
Yo, that means.
And now wait, let me. It is once again because in court it was already proven by professionals, by other people who've been around her, by even several messages and comments that were provided between both of them. One of which we heard in the voice recording that she abuses alcohol. So this is a repeat character flaw of her.
That's so mind blowing.
care.
Only because
They don't care. Low, they do not give a fuck, my nigga. She could have been off the cocaine, drug abuse, and all. They do not give a fuck. They just don't.
When he was pushing her back into the car, it felt like
fumbled.
He felt like he was doing it just too aggressively.
That nigga fumbled and the ball got picked up and they went to score the touchdown and then he got the ball again and on the kick return he fumbled that bitch again came in, stole that shit, and then he made a comeback, right? Because we got evidence that he was making a comeback. He had 2 days to make a comeback, and he was one touchdown away from winning by 1, and he got pick sixed. He got pick sixed.
And it led to this. Now,
Jury fumbled, bro.
to also be clear, both charges are misdemeanors. Again, he might not even have to serve any time at all. But to the people who are saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's a misdemeanor. He don't have to serve no time, possibly." Da 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 da. It's not really about that. It's about the perception that people have. I've already seen several news articles represent this entire story completely incorrectly. I've seen major publications claim that he was found guilty on both charges of assault. I've seen it. It's the concept that you as a man was found guilty of some form of assault against a woman. That's it. That's what it's found. That's it.
Reality is most people don't look into situations.
They don't.
They won't look at the details.
No.
They don't even know he was charged with 4 things, found guilty of 2.
Nope.
They'll just see, oh,
I'm be honest, chat. I'm an L man. So I didn't even know it was all that. I thought it was just 2 charges. I thought it was just a harassment and a domestic aggressive, I thought it was just an aggressive assault, and I thought it was aggressive harassment. I didn't even know it was like regular in the basic version too. I ain't know that till just now. I ain't gonna cut. But
oh, he beat her.
Yep.
And that's the majority of people. That's the information they're gonna receive from this verdict here. So now there's gonna be the ongoing perception. He's gonna have to fight for the rest of his life that he beat her, bro.
Yep. One of the biggest takeaways I get from this is that it is so disingenuous when men are asked repeatedly to understand women's POVs in relationship dynamics, right? As a man, you have to understand that if she sleeps with you too early, then then she may be considered a slut. If you are a man, you got to make sure you don't hover around her drink too much, because people do. They put roofies in her drink. If you are a man, you got to make sure you walk her to a car at night, because people are aggressive and they try to steal from women, et cetera, et cetera. If you are a man, there's so many aspects from a woman's POV that you have to understand. If it's that time of the month for her, you got to give her some leeway because she can be a little extra emotional. There's so many things, but women don't have to do that, bro.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Duo monkey. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. My fault. I don't know, because I have an E-date soon. I want to get some reactions out, and then I have something to do later after that. So we'll see.
Fuck,
You
bro.
just
They don't care.
POV.
They don't care.
To you, this is probably
They don't care.
not that big of a deal, but
Okay.
that's
Man, I
probably
got you.
why I don't even like going out. Like, how do you even know who you can interact with? Everybody's drunk, and nowadays, if you're drunk, it doesn't even count as consent. So, like, what can you even do with anybody if you're drunk?
It's just a tough situation to be in, for real.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not worth the future headache, bro. And
Is that
the
my shit?
reality is
The
not
fuck was
worth
that?
the future headache, bro.
Okay, say shit. I was
And
like, what the fuck was
reality
that?
Is, it's not that hard to treat
fuck?
people well, or with some decency. And in this situation, I think he did the right thing. Running away was the only thing you can do when someone's being really aggressive. When someone feels like what's the word for that?
Nah, agent. Apparently, then you gotta sit there, take it like a boss. You just gotta eat that shit. You feel me? You just, and she punch you. You just gotta eat. You gotta sit there. You can't do nothing. I mean, that's what it feel like. Don't run. Don't do nothing. Just sit there. Take it how it is.
Entitled. It's the entitlement from her that she can grab his phone. It's the entitlement for her that she could be aggressive around him. And it's the entitlement that she knows he's not going to do nothing to hurt her. And so she could be as aggressive as she wants. She could chase him 8 blocks if she wants to. And it's the patience and the reserve from him of backing away, stop, give me my phone back, backing away, and running 8 blocks. My nigga, what? Bro, that is what you should be coaching people to do. Like, if someone's being aggressive towards you, just de-escalate and remove yourself from the situation.
But you can't. But apparently, they're saying that even when you're attempting to de-escalate, you can't do that too aggressively.
Bro,
you do that too aggressively, you might unintentionally harm that person. So
Which is dumb. Because like I said, what happens if she shot him in the foot, like Tory Lanez?
the police caught that charge for every time they tried to de-escalate, there'd be no police force in America. Because in the process of de-escalating, if someone's acting recklessly, sometimes they get hurt. The reality is, in this specific situation, it's way more likely she got hurt blackout drunk on a night by herself with some strangers. That's way more likely. She was walking into walls. Bro, that's like, blaming him for her drunk night out is pretty fucking bananas when there's literally no evidence to prove that he was acting aggressively or he was being violent. He has no history of those things. This just feels like fuck him, a complete lack of perspective or empathy, and now he gets to deal with the consequences of that. And the reality is, she will deal with zero. Genuinely, what is he supposed to do in that situation?
So
that's the question. If he's trying to remove himself from the car and she jumps on him like this, if he just goes anyway, there's a good chance she gets hurt because now she's being dragged along.
So that's why I said too, like, bro, her finger could have got bruised off the fact if you took my phone and I'm trying to grab it from you and my hand overlaps in your hand and I'm pushing up against it, your finger could have got bruised then. Her finger could have got bruised as I'm running away. Your finger latches on into something because he was missing a button on one of his things. Sure, her finger could have got bruised off of that alone. There's so many things that her finger truly could have got bruised on. But I genuinely, to the people out there who believe that this man is guilty and he was still in the wrong, I ask you, what do you want from men to do in that scenario?
Oh, I'm curious.
Deadass, what do you want? What do you want?
I'm curious. What? How do you spell John? Oh my gosh, I can't spell for shit. Here we go. Here we go. Jonathan Majors found guilty on assaulting and harassment his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari. The split murdered by Jerry. Major faces up to a year in jail when Major faces up a year in jail when he is sentenced on February 6th. What happens next? People spoke with Brett Warder, a partner of Black Rome, and Kate Mungles, a legitimate, litigation. Is that litigation? Partner at Kinsella Holly. Both of I can't read for shit right now. Hold on. Both of whom are not connected to the case. I would say that it is highly unlikely that he does any type of significant time, says Ward. While misdemeanors are punishable by up to a year in prison in New York, he says such a heavy sentence would be normally unlikely. While options like behavioral programs and probation also at the judge's discretion. But the judge could choose to make an example of Majors due to the spotlight shown on the trial and potentially wanting to show that this type of behavior would not be tolerated, that you don't assault your intimate partner, Ward adds. Majors will also likely appeal, he adds, and if any jail time is handed down, he may serve it, says Ward, or he could try to say that pending an appeal. And if it's not jail, then he'll take care of whatever he has to take care of in terms of any kind of programs or probation the court requires. Okay, so he can't appeal. Oh yeah, no, he needs to appeal that bad boy ASAP. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. He need to appeal that bad boy ASAP. No fucking Rocky.
Because if the result of this all is that you are saying that it is fine, and when a woman puts her hands on a man, that a man just can't do nothing. He just has to figure out a way to remove himself from that situation without showing any form of physicality at all. If that's what you're saying, again,
Also, I'm about to make it aware. The reason why sometimes I'll be looking at this screen and this screen is because I have my OBS up on this screen and my thing here, and I can watch it from both. So sometimes I'll be watching here, see the chat, and sometimes I just watch it here. If you see me looking at like, just rock with it. All right, just rock with it. I had to say that real quick because I caught myself doing it. I had to make it known. I had to make it known.
That is a concept that many women already believe, and it's the reason why many women act the way that she acted that night, because they know they can just do whatever.
The bar he has to reach for people to consider him innocent compared to the bar she has to reach for people to admit that she had a fucking wild night and she was the one who acted wrong is nuts. But yeah, let us know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Jonathan Majors lost his roles with Marvel. We'll see if anybody's willing to fucking employ him now. They're probably not for the foreseeable future, but let us know what y'all think in the comment section down below. If you missed our last video, which was just a few days ago, right before the verdict, go ahead and watch that. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I agree with him. I think it's stupid.